What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about whether you should come to the United States given Trump is the president now. So there are two parts to this question. First part is going to be relevant to all the students, MS Finance, MS Accounting, MS Business Analytics, MS Computer Science, bachelor students as well. Second part would be related to only finance accounting students. So the first part, to all the students, one of the things that you have to remember is you are something called as an alien here according to the United States immigration rules. First of all, you have to remember, according to the USCIS, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, you are something called as the resident alien. So you are an alien, basically a legal immigrant, not even an immigrant. When you are a student, you're not considered as an immigrant because your intention is to study and go back to your home country. So you are something as the resident alien and a student, obviously. For students, how risky is it to come to the United States now? First of all, I'd say the only predictable thing about Trump's presidency is the unpredictability. Given it is going to be his second term and the last term, so he wants to make a bigger impact than his first term. So there is obviously risk attached to you guys as students, because first of all, if your university is like a community college, the chances of denial would go up from Biden's presidency. And the second thing is, once you graduate, the H1B denial or the OPT, the STEM OPT, and then talking about after graduation what is going to happen. When Trump was the president in his first term, a lot of people got their H1Bs denied and a lot of people got RFEs. RFEs are basically notices by USCIS asking you to provide further evidence to substantiate what you're claiming, to substantiate your job, to substantiate your H1B. So at the time of his first term, the RFE numbers went up, and the second part being legal immigration, that is also going to be controlled. From what I think, my personal opinion is, there is also going to be some pressure on legal immigration as well. So coming to the solution, what is the solution for this? As a student, you have to make sure your colleges are good and substantiated. They have good rankings and it is not a community college, or if it is a community college, you have all the documents. You can prove that you're going to go back to your home country after your studies or after the completion of your OPT. But the first thing you have to remember is your colleges should be known, shouldn't be in the middle of nowhere. Second thing you have to remember, once you have graduated, you have to make sure you find jobs in corporates which have good immigration lawyers and which have good legal teams that will help you out. The chances of refusal of your H1B in a corporate go down significantly. When I was working at Morgan Stanley, I never got RFE, I never got any notice, nothing. And that is the same case with the corporate I'm working right now. So you have to make sure that your companies are very well known, they have strong legal teams, because RFEs usually come to consultancies, people who are claiming they have jobs but they want to stop the counter, so they are doing like some gray area shit, consultancies and all that stuff. Because you have to remember, RFEs are high when it comes to consultancies, like people who want to stop their counters or like their OPT days and all that stuff, and they want to get H1B. They are going through some gray area and they are applying to consultancies and all that stuff. So USCIS knows all of these things, and that's why they issue RFEs. These two things you have to remind yourself again and again and again. Do your best, find a good job, get into a good corporate, and then I don't think you would be struggling with all those things, even if it's a Trump's rule or Biden's rule. Like personally, I never had any issues with immigration when I was here as a student in Trump's presidency, and when I was working here in Biden's presidency, because it's a very well-known company that I work with, and the prior company was also very well-known. So you have to just remember, you are just following the due diligence, you're doing all the things correctly, you're not going into gray areas too much. Now coming to the second part, what will happen to finance accounting students? It is going to be the same thing. Finance and accounting students also should have good colleges, good corporate, but one thing that I feel like would happen, and it is actually a good thing, that the finance jobs would go up because and the job market in general would go up because Trump is known to favor capitalism. Like, he's more so very business savvy. He's more favorable to the businesses than the current government. So, you know, when you have lower taxes, you have your stock is going up, your valuation is going high, companies go public, companies hire, they're trying to expand. So economy, you know, in general goes up, GDP goes up. So you'll see an uptick in finance and accounting jobs as well. I think you'll see an uptick in technology jobs as well. But the thing is, now the tech firms have been really careful in terms of hiring because they overhired and then they had to lay off people. But banks are not like that. Usually banks or finance companies follow a very lean hiring structure. They let go of their 1% of employees every year, the poor performance. And financial companies usually don't follow this approach where the market is booming, so they'll hire a lot of people. Usually they do hire people, but they don't overhire, I mean to say that. And the layoffs at banks and financial companies are not as brutal as tech companies because they didn't overhire, and their hiring is very lean. Basically, they want one person to do a 2% job, and that's how banking and financial companies work in general, I feel like. Yeah, so in general, the banks and financial companies hire very lean. Yeah, so I'll say it's a good news for students because the market is going to go up and job opportunities are going to go up. But again, your long-term goals might hinder because of the rule, but those things are, you know, very less likely to happen given you have to pass the bill and all that stuff. But yeah, initially in the next 4 years, I personally feel that the immigration, legal and illegal, is going to get tough. A lot of YouTubers have different views, but this is my view. And I feel this is for the sake of America that he's doing it. You know, a lot of people who come to the United States illegally, they take over jobs of Americans who were born here. So it makes sense. Then the second thing being is you never know who's crossing the border illegally because you don't have a background on them. There's no background check done when someone is filing for asylum. You never know what crimes they have committed in their country and they have migrated here. So in general, a country and a president, they have to be careful for what people are entering into the United States and what impact are they going to make in the United States. So that's why they're doing it. And I think somewhere along the line it makes sense, because imagine if you came here legally and then, because for me personally these things make sense. A lot of people are going to differ. I'm going to get a lot of shit on that, and this is my personal opinion. As an immigrant, I feel like when I was living in New York City and there was a surge. Now I've moved to Jersey City, but when I was living in New York City and there was a surge of illegal immigrants, the migrants coming to New York City, there was a rise in crime, there was a rise in violations, and I still remember what I've seen in Times Square and other areas of New York. I've had personal instances where I didn't appreciate what happened because of the migration situation. And I personally feel it is important for a president to protect its country and the citizens of that country. So it kind of makes sense. But as students, it is not going to be stressful for you guys. Just follow the regulations, just follow the right way to do things and not go into gray area, and it's going to be okay. So thank you so much for watching the video, guys. If you liked it, please subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments, because the more you comment, the more insights I get to what other videos to make. Thank you so much. Meet you in the next video. Bye bye.